Hey, everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. I'm Anthony, and this is the podcast where connections thrive. Each episode, we spotlight inspiring entrepreneurs, professionals, and individuals doing amazing things. Together, we'll grow your circle, spark collaboration, and discover new opportunities. Today, we're meeting Eric Malka, founder of The Art of Shaving and a trailblazing entrepreneur with a proven track record in revolutionizing the grooming and wellness industries. As a business strategist, author, and managing partner at Strategic Brand Investments, Eric is passionate about helping purpose-driven brands thrive while sharing invaluable insights in scaling businesses, achieving resilience, and creating long-term value. How are you doing today, Eric?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me, man.
No, I'm excited to have you on. You're doing really cool things, and I think a lot of people would definitely like to hear what you have to say. We're all interested in kind of learning from others because I don't know what I don't know, and clearly I don't know much about the whole grooming and shaving thing. It's getting a little unruly, so any advice there is going to be invaluable. But to start off, where are you calling in from? Where are you located?
I'm in Miami, Florida.
Okay, you a lifer? You been there forever? Or are you newer to the area?
I've been here on and off since the mid 90s. So I've been here for a while.
Okay, so
We
basically a
call
native.
this home,
Yeah.
basically.
I got you. Well, I've never made it that far south into Florida. So somebody visiting Miami for the first time, where are you taking them? What are you doing? Where are they eating?
Oh my God. The last 4 or 5 years, I mean, the options are abundant, too many to really talk about. But Miami's a real foodie town. It's a great town to have fun, sun, surf, bars, clubs, restaurants. I mean, it's a party town. It's the Vegas of the East, I think, right on the ocean. It's the most tropical place in the US. So it's a pretty cool town, and it's really been booming over the last few years.
Okay. Any time of the year you recommend people visit? Because I know you get over there, it gets a little warm, and I could sweat eating ice cream in the shade.
Yeah, no, for sure. November to April,
Uh-huh.
push it into May, if you will, but those are the best months. November to April are sweet spots. Right now, today it's about 68 degrees. It's kind of a chilly day, so that's as chilly as we get.
I'm in the Midwest, so I don't resonate with that at all. 68 is what I keep my house
I
at.
grew
So
up in Canada, so don't
yeah.
worry. I remember, I know what it is. I'm about to go up there in January, which
Oh,
is
you,
it's tough.
you're playing that at the wrong time, going back to Canada.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
you got to do what you got to do, man.
yeah,
I wish I could avoid it, but
yeah.
gotta go see my mom.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It's just a bit of a shock when you get on the plane and off the plane. You're like, oh,
Oh God,
yeah, man. Anyway,
PTSD, man.
yeah, it's like walking on the surface of Hoth. So anyway, so awesome. Well, what can you tell us about what you do?
Well, right now we invest in early stage companies in our space through our fund called Strategic Brand Investments. Our space is primarily men's grooming, women's beauty products, and wellness. We tend to lean towards more natural, environmentally friendly products. And we really love working with young founders. By young, I mean young in their journey as an entrepreneur. They could be of all ages, but usually they're not too far along in their journey, and that's when our expertise and our experience has the most impact on their long-term success.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like that. A lot of young entrepreneurs, they need that kind of help. Where
They
it's
do.
they don't know what they don't know yet. Maybe they're really passion driven. Maybe they're just ready to go get out of what they've been their comfort zone and get going, and they're done kind of, being stagnant, or so they go out hard and they find the mistakes pretty early on. So being
Yeah.
able to have that
M-
that
Most
help
of the
is
mistakes happen in the early days, and that's why a lot of entrepreneurs stumble. They know their business. They're hardworking. They're smart. It's just that they make a lot of mistakes, rookie mistakes in the early years, and that can really be costly at the end. So we try to help them avoid that if we can.
that's awesome. Yeah, we definitely need more of that out there because more entrepreneurs succeeding is nothing but good for everybody. So
It's
I
good
really
for
get that.
everyone.
So how'd you get started? What kind of got you down this path?
Well, listen, as I said, I grew up in Canada, needed to get the hell out of there. Between the cold and the economic climate, I felt I wanted to live the American dream. So I got into a Greyhound bus to New York City from Montreal. I arrived there. I was 17 years old in 1985. I had $100 in my pocket, and I was a non-documented immigrant. 24 years later, I sold my company to Procter and Gamble, and that's the story that I write in my book, and that's what enables me to do what I do today.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that is the American dream, coming in with nothing, building something, and then, ultimately handing it off to your relatives or selling or whatever that looks like.
Whatever.
So that's awesome. I really I really like that. What's your book titled?
It's called On the Razor's Edge, and it's a bit of a pun because I was in the, shaving business, but it's also a reflection of what entrepreneurs deal with on a daily basis. One false move here, one bad decision there, you slip and you're on the razor's edge, man.
Yeah, no, that's true. Some of us a little bit more than others, but all of us as entrepreneurs, it is a balancing act. So I really like
It
that. That's an
is.
awesome title. So what are some early mistakes that you see a lot of entrepreneurs make, or maybe mistakes that you made after you got off that Greyhound that you like to give people a heads up for? Hey, I know you're new to entrepreneurship. I know you're looking at this
Yeah.
thing, but here's a common thing, and here's how you should avoid it.
Listen, I've built I think 12 or 15 companies and I've failed a couple of times. So I have experience with success and failures. And some of the things we see most often is entrepreneurs tend to go way too fast in the beginning. It's like learning how to drive a car and going 100 miles an hour to do that, right? Start slow, man, 20, 30 miles an hour, get your bearings, get really good, comfortable, and then you can start speeding up and then you can start, going fast on the highway. But if you as an entrepreneur in the early days, and I'm talking about consumer goods, in the tech world, it's a little bit different, but in consumer goods, you need to build a foundation. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs think it's a 5-year deal. It's really a 20-year deal. It takes time to build a great company. So if you're going too fast in the beginning, sometimes you're going to stumble, and that could be a big problem.
Yeah, no, that is great advice because, like I said before, a lot of starting budding entrepreneurs, they're very passionate and they're like, whatever I'm doing is going to change the world. I need to go out there and do it now. And
That's
then
right.
you find yourself 6 months in, a year in, looking back, going, this doesn't have bones. It needs to go any further. I kind of, what is it?
Yeah,
The gold bar turned into gold handcuffs kind of thing, where you kind of
that's
get
right.
into a position you don't like. So
Yeah,
awesome.
sometimes by the time you learn all the things you should have learned in the beginning, it's too late for you to recalibrate, right? You need to start small and think big, right?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So what is your favorite thing that you've been doing? You've been helping a lot of entrepreneurs. You've been doing it for years. What's your favorite thing?
I love working with founders. I mean, I've lost my fire, if you will. You know, success kind of makes you lose the grit that I once had. And I just love working with founders. I love to have an impact on their lives and on their businesses and just that energy. I love the startup energy, the early stage energy of these entrepreneurs and founders.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. So, you kind of blaze your trail, everything's good. Now you're looking more at like the mentorship side and wanting to help the other ones
Yeah.
that are starting. I like that. That's awesome. So when people are getting started in entrepreneurship, they have like the avatar for their average client. So when you're looking at the people that you're able to help, what are some pain points or who are the people that if, they are dealing with XYZ, you're the person that they should talk to?
You mean what kind of person are we looking to invest in?
Yeah, so like what kind of entrepreneur? Like certain industries, niches, sizes?
Yeah, I mean, it's really luxury consumer goods, premium primarily. We would look at mass, but that's not our expertise. Some of our skills can cross over into other industries, but we like to stay in our lane where we can have the most impact on the entrepreneur. That's, the beauty industry, men's grooming industry, and the wellness industry are where we like to play in the luxury space, ideally.
Okay. How about power partners? What are different industries or potential referral relationships that you've been able to develop over the years? Are there certain industries or professions that you tend to synergize well with?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we bring to the table is our vast network in whether it's raising capital and you need to be introduced to venture funds in our space, retailers, whether it be Neiman Marcus or Target, we have relationships across the board. We try to have an ecosystem of best in class partners that we can make introductions to our founders, and that can be very useful because we've already vetted them, we know them, and you know we have access to them.
Okay. So a lot of us, a lot of us entrepreneurs, especially when we're starting off, uh, we like stories. We like seeing, actual examples and testimonials from things that have happened, just because then we can put ourselves in those shoes. Do you have any stories about somebody that was maybe overly passionate, wanted to go too fast, too soon, that you guys were
Yeah,
able to kind of rein in and help?
yeah. We get pitched a lot by entrepreneurs, and we only make we make very very few deals at the end of the day. But the one that comes to mind is someone that I'm coaching, and I take very few clients, but I like this business. He pitched us about 2 years ago. He pitched us for $1 million investment. And as we started doing due diligence on his business, we realized he was about to go out of business. He was heading straight for bankruptcy. The business was bleeding cash. It was in major trouble. And I said, listen, we can't invest, but I love your business model. I like your vision, like you. Let me help you out. And, I think last year the person was losing $1 million. And this year I'm sorry, in 23, they lost $1 million, and in 224, they broke even, and we're hoping to be very profitable next year, turning around the ship, digging ourselves out of the hole, and starting to build that business back up. So it's a methodology I call crawl, walk, run, then fly. And he was flying before he could walk. So a lot of trouble there. And we made him scale back, take 3 steps back to make 10 steps forward is an old cliche, but it is very true.
Yeah. No, that that's accurate too. What the good news is you guys are able to help him. What's even more good news is he knows where it can go because he accidentally went there to begin with. Or he's like, okay, now I can build to that and actually have a good foundation. So when I get there, that I can make
That's
this,
right.
super profitable. So that's awesome. Yeah. I like that. So what inspired you to create the art of shaving, and how did it change the men's grooming industry?
Well, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I started my first business when I was 19 years old. The Art of Shaving was my fourth business, and I was just trying to make it get out of, I wanted to make money. Frankly, I wasn't looking to have a huge purpose. I just wanted to create my own business, be my own boss, and make some money. Um, but once we started running with the Art of Shaving, we realized we were onto something huge. And at the end, it really ignited the whole metrosexual movement, and in turn, um, really opened up the men's grooming space, especially in the luxury category. Today, you'll find in every city, almost in the world, you'll find many, many barbershops that look and resemble the Art of Shaving as it once was. So it's nice to see that the brand continues to live through thousands of men's grooming places around the world.
Yeah, you said a couple really cool things there. One, it was your fourth business. So a lot of us think that it's got to be the first one, or else, a waste of time. Nope. More often than not,
Nope.
it's not. You're going to be 5, 6 years into a lot of stuff and go, okay, now I have an idea that actually has legs. Or there's varying levels of success, so you have to define what success is. But it's very rarely the first idea, the first time you do it. So I think that's important for people to realize, especially budding entrepreneurs. Know what you're getting
That's
into.
right.
You're gonna fail, and you're gonna have to be the person that's gonna get yourself up, learn from that, and then try again and try again and try again. So
100%.
you can only fail so many times before you find that gem, before you start to fly. So speaking of that, how did you go from crawl, walk, run, fly? How did you scale the art of shaving into a global brand? And what lessons can
Listen,
entrepreneurs take from that?
I have to say luck plays a part in big successes, right? Um, we sold our car. I mean, my third business wiped me out. So I had to sell my car to open a small store in New York City to sell, called The Art of Shaving. And that store did relatively well. But 6 months later, the New York Times took notice of us and wrote a big article in the Sunday paper. And in those days, there was no internet. Everybody was reading the New York Sunday Times around the country, around the world. So the store and the business blew up overnight, 6 months in. And that gave us the resources to open a very prominent location on Madison Avenue in New York, which was a huge success. Excuse me. I gotta get.
No worries.
The Madison Avenue store was a huge success. And 2 years after starting the business, the business was generating almost $2 million in sales and over $750,000 in profits. So that was a huge, huge platform for us to build from. We didn't have to go look for investors. We wouldn't have gotten banks anyways. So that profitability helped us to really organically grow the company. And because men's grooming was a non-existent category, we were forced to go pretty slow in the early years. As I said, crawl, walk, run. So, we opened another couple of stores. And then in 2000, we pivoted from opening stores, which were very cash intensive, to wholesale. And the whole metrosexual happened at that time. And that allowed us to distribute our brand to over 800, almost 1,000 stores around the country and really put the brand on the map, a lot of eyeballs on the brand. So that brought us up to another level. And from there, we raised our first round of capital in 2005 and started to test out store models in shopping centers around the country because outside New York City, we felt that the malls were the place to be. So we created a small footprint and opened 12 stores with the money we had raised. Those did extremely well. And we went out and raised a much bigger capital of $15 million in 2007 and started to open 15 stores a year, about 1.5 stores per month. And we started scaling towards 50 million in sales. And during that ascent, we were acquired by Gillette, who was acquired by Procter and Gamble in 2005.
Awesome. Yeah, I like hearing those stories. Anywhere along the entrepreneur path, whether it's just getting started, whether it's scaling, whether you're coming up to when you're ready to sell it, because they're all super interesting. The way that people get there and what they figure out is always brilliant, and it's really fun to watch. So what is your best advice for business owners getting ready to sell their company, and how do they maintain the value?
Well, some of the things you should think about when you're selling your company is don't take the eye off the ball. You have to run your business like you're never going to sell it. If you get too distracted and you start playing the air guitar before you win, or start spending that money before you close the deal, you could be in a lot of surprises. In my case, we were doing due diligence on our deal in Miami with the P&G team when the financial crisis of 2008 hit and the world went upside down. So it was a really, really big wrench in the machine during our process. So until you sign that deal, until the money's in the bank, keep running your business like there's no tomorrow, right? I
Yep.
think that's the most important advice I can give entrepreneurs selling their businesses.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great advice. A lot of us, something's on the horizon, you can kind of ease back or take your foot off the pedal a little bit, and
That's right.
that's the exact opposite of what you need to do. So yeah, I like that. Was there anything that I failed to ask that you wanted to mention?
You can pick up my book and learn everything I didn't mention today. It's called On the Razor's Edge, and you can find it at ericmalka.com. On that website, we sign every copy, or you can buy it on Amazon.com or Barnes and Nobles. There's a bunch of places that sell it online.
Okay. Is that the best way people get a hold of you is your website, or do you like
Yeah.
going other socials or anywhere as well?
We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but ericmalka.com or strategicbrandinvestments.com. That's a little lengthy. You can find us there.
Okay. Well, I'll put that in the description so people don't have to try and spell it out, and we'll make it as easy as possible. It's just a click. So perfect. Well, if anybody would like to get in touch with Eric, absolutely go to his website, check out his book. You're going to learn more after, after looking through that than you know going in for sure. And you definitely, if you want to get to where people are, follow what they say. They've done it, they've lived it, and people like Eric, they're continuing to help others do exactly that. So exactly the kind of person that you want to learn from. So if you're a little bit more shy and you prefer an introduction, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to direct you over there. But otherwise, if anybody out there would like to be interviewed, you could also find me at ikag.me. You can subscribe to our newsletter, connect with our community, and grow. So if you'd like to be interviewed as well, you can apply on the website. But thank you so much for your time, Eric. I really
Th-
appreciate having you on.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, I hope we
You're
all have an
welcome.
awesome day, and let's all get out there and grow our circle. All right.
Thanks, man.